I'm the Who Guy and welcome back to a very special video where today we are continuing on with the Dalek Partwork by Hachette Partworks. Build a Dalek. I'm very excited to get into this video. We've got 4 issues to open today, so we've got issue 3 here, and that one is a big one. Issue 4, 5 and 6. So in this bumper video we're going to have a look at all of the magazines as well as building the Dalek with all these awesome parts. Timestamps are on your screen now if you want to jump to a certain point in the video, whether you want to continue on and watch all of it in a one bumper video or just split yourself into different issues. So here are the timestamps. So I do hope you enjoyed this bumper video. Make sure to smash the like button if you enjoyed this Dalek build, as well as subscribe down below. You can check out loads of Doctor Who videos on the channel, as well as continue the journey of building this awesome Dalek. Just before we start, I've got to say I'm very disappointed. I am a subscriber and unfortunately the packaging was really poor from Hachette. There is just no packaging involved. There's no packing materials in the parcel itself. It was like this big empty box. These were just stuffed into it. We'll show in closer detail, but some of these magazines are really creased up and don't look great. I know most of this is, of course, the parts inside is what you're paying for really, but the magazine to come in some decent condition wouldn't hurt. And unfortunately, the way they pack this, I'll put some pictures up on now. Yeah, very lazy from them. So I'm hoping they do get better with that. In the comments down below, if you are a subscriber, whether your issues were damaged as well, like mine are. But apart from that, really excited, and let's get into the build. So we've got 4 awesome issues here to look at today. So here we have issue 3. We're going to go through each issue individually. So we're going to take a look at the magazine, then build that stage of the Dalek. Then we will go to issue 4, 5 and 6 after that. And remember, timestamps on your screen now and in the comments if you want to skip issues where you are up to. It's a really big box actually, this, and it has the Doctor Who logo on the back. So let's get this open. So this is everything inside issue 3. So you get the old magazine and this massive box of Dalek parts. So let's start with the magazine, and I love the logo changes at the top here. We get this nice red Dalek logo at the top, and of course made by Hachette, and it is issue number 3, and it's building the iconic Doctor Who monster. We get a picture of the parts that are included inside this magazine, as well as something that's going to be featured in this magazine, which is Skaro. Each issue is published weekly and does cost $11.99, and on the back you do get a sneak peek of issue 4 if you were to buy this in the shops. Opening up the issue, we get this lovely artwork of a Dalek to the inside cover, as well as a contents page reminding us what is inside this issue. It's like we get a real in-depth review of Skaro, and even includes books and audio adventure information, so it's a real combined Doctor Who Dalek history, and I absolutely love these magazines for that. And you even get loads of history and reviews of Dalek episodes, including the Dead Planet here. And of course, this is one of the first ever Doctor Who episodes. Really nice to see some of the creators of the Daleks mentioned down the bottom here. And it's just jam-packed full of awesome imagery. And here we have Anatomy of a Dalek. This week's issue focuses on the exterminator gun. We're straight into our step-by-step instructions, which, as you can see here, we are building the Dalek dome itself. We get loads of parts, as well as a quite complicated little build. More instructions. That is issue 3 of the Dalek. Now let's build this awesome Dalek dome. So here is issue 3's Dalek parts in this really nicely packaged box. Let's crack this open. These are really well packaged. Looks like we've got a big dome piece here, a baggie of loads of goodies, which have all again been individually wrapped. Looks like we've got an awesome screwdriver as well, and some other bags. Let's crack these all open. So here we have all of the components for issue 3. Firstly, what it wants us to do is align both of these big Dalek parts together. And as you can see, there are 2 slots in these parts, and they should just line up together like so. Just like that. And now what they want us to do is flip it over and add some screws. As you can see, what they want us to do is use these 3G pieces, which are numbered, and add them to the dome to connect these 2 parts together. As you can see, I've done the right hand side one already, so these just line up the holes with the holes down here, and they will just easily slot into place. You'll hear a little small click, and they just rest into place there, and it does align the Dalek dome much better. I'm not a model maker and I've never done part works before. These videos are a take on what it is like for a first ever part work for someone. Things are going to go wrong. I'm not going to know the terms for some things. bear with me. Now, let's get into stage 3. And now what it wants us to do is insert 4 BP screws into the Dalek dome. To fully secure these pieces, so just put it in the end of your screwdriver. That is provided, so that is pretty nice. And just line up the Dalek, make sure not to cross thread anything, and it should just go in pretty nicely like so. And we'll speed this up because it's going to be very repetitive, but let's screw in all of these little screws. So with all those screws in place, we can go into step 3, which will be using these parts to again attach this dome more securely. And these parts easily slot in just like the others, like so. And they just go in like that. And as you can see, again, just making sure this Dalek is secure. And once again, remembering to add those BP screws. Awesome. What you want to do now is put those 2 smaller pieces into these gaps here, which I've done already, and they again just use one of the BP screws in each hole just to line them up, and they easily slot into place. It's pretty simple to get them in. Not being an experienced model maker doesn't really affect this build. I'm not, and so far it's been pretty simple, and the instructions definitely do give a lot of detail. So it looks pretty much all lined. On to step 5 now, and what it wants us to do is add these 2 metal Dalek parts. And these should just clip in like so. So that part into there, and that clips in pretty nicely. And the same with this metal Dalek part here. And we're starting to take shape of this awesome Dalek build. And there's little grooves at the top here that helps you align the part. And then there's a hole down the bottom here, which use the AM screws this time to fill in the gap with the screw. And that, with a bit of force, will screw into the metal plate. And using another AM screw, just do the exact same on the opposite part on the other side. And it should screw in to the part quite nicely. After you've screwed in both of those screws, we need to flip this over once again and then fit this, which of course is going to house our Dalek eye. Should just fit in like so. It's a nice plastic piece, so no screws necessary for this one, and that should just clip into place like so. Pretty simple, that one. No screws needed for that. And that is your lot for issue 3. Don't worry if you have some spare screws, they will be used in the future, or spares, so don't worry about that, because I had a little mini panic attack thinking, oh no, have I built this right? But I believe I have used all of the screws in this issue. So now let's get into issue 4, but overall very happy with issue 3. So here's issue 4, let's get this open. Here's the magazine, and this is what I was saying about damage to the magazine. Look at that, that is awful. But we take a look at this issue, we get the blue logo this time, and it looks like we're going to be featuring on the Dalek eye stalk. There's all of the parts. Inside the magazine, get this stunning artwork. It's a shame it's all dented, but really cool artwork nevertheless, and the contents page. Lots about Dalek models, these are really cool, featuring some of the Daleks from the new era. Issues Adventures in Space and Time is Asylum of the Daleks, and we even get a mention of Oswald and a real in-depth look of the behind the scenes and the recording of this episode. Anatomy of a Dalek this time is the Dalek eye stalk. That's pretty cool. Get some in-depth info about that. And of course, loads more parts in this issue, including some electronics. Here are the instructions for that. A sneak peek of issue 5. And opening up, really well packaged once again, the actual parts. So let's get building. So firstly, what it would like us to do is use this big metal piece and the ID tag and insert this. It's just little plastic pegs and they should fit easily into the hole. And that does look really cool with this cool name tag now this Dalek has. What it wants us to do is get the dome from the previous issue and add this to it. And this again is pretty simple. You just got to line the pegs on the back here into the holes of the dome to fit with these previous metal pieces we added. And so it should look like that, and that is looking really, really cool. I've got to say, some of these parts are really, really high quality. What it would like us to do now is fit this into place with 4 of the AM screws. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And hopefully these screw in pretty easily. with this last one being really difficult to fit in there. It's now fully secure into place. Now what it would like us to do is get this plastic translucent piece onto this piece. This is very fragile, so be careful with it because it's quite thin plastic. Should just line in like so, quite securely like that, and that definitely does look like the Dalek light at the top of the dome. So there you go, there's that piece sorted. And now what it would like us to do is fit this little bulb on top of this LED light, and that should just be pushed into place. And with that pushed into place, we now have the little light here. It should then align with the little grooves in this circuit board, and that should align like so. And that then just presses into place. Now what we need to do with this all in place is fit 2 AM screws into these 2 slots here, and they should just go in pretty simply.
He says...
Now they want us to test this light, and of course we have this from issue 2, which we can now use to test. So what they want us to do is plug this connector into the smaller port on the circuit board, and that should fit in there. That clicks into place, and then what we can do is of course switch it on, and there's our light all fully working and looking awesome. In the instructions that it should be brighter when the model is complete, but as you can see it's got this nice flashing detailing. That is pretty cool to see it all working, so you can make sure if you need replacement parts now you can do so. After testing it, we need to attach this light to the dome. We're definitely seeing this Dalek being built now, and it looks like we need to put it over here. And lining it up, it should all just click into place like so. Now we get these longer screws, and they should now just go through that hole and a bottom hole, this time using the Allen key to screw these in. They should just slot into place like that, and then you should be able to screw these in. And screwing this in should then eventually get this light fully secured to the dome. Dalek is now complete with its light there, looking really cool, and of course we've tested that it does work, and you're really getting kind of a scope and scale of this Dalek now. It is going to be huge when completed. So then we finally have to insert, as you can see here, the eye into the actual dome itself from issue 1 and 2, and then insert this black piece which should just thread through the wire and the eye stalk, and that just sits into place like that. Now we need to get the cog mechanism, and that should just slot in there. There's some 2 little holes you got to line up, and they kind of clip in like so, and just screw them into the holes here. It's quite difficult to hold this all into place all at once. However, once it's in, it's in. Then it wants us to get this part and put this onto this part, and this should clamp the eye stalk into place, and that is pretty simple. Should just be able to line this plastic piece up. It should just push in, and then we need to add 4 of the BB screws. With those screws in tightly, looking pretty nice, we need to go to the next step. We just need to slot the eye further forward into these little slots here, and they just rest into there pretty nicely. And that's your lot for issue 4. So pretty cool. We've got this all slotted in, and we've got the dome. I don't really want to move this too much, but as you can see, the model is definitely taking shape from issue 4 onwards. Let's get into issue 5. Check out this one with a nice big box and the gold logo. Let's get this open, check out the magazine, and get doing stage 5 steps. Brilliant, nice cover there with the gold Dalek background there. And inside, we're going to be taking a look at the special weapons Dalek. We've got some more parts down here. And of course, on the back, we get that sneak peek of issue 6, which we will be building later on in this video. Opening up the magazine, you get this really nice art print of a special weapons Dalek and the contents page. Loads of information in this magazine, this time looking at the Dalek Civil War. I really do like the Dalek designs in this episode. Of course, 7th Doctor and Ace. You just get loads of behind the scenes looks and detailed look towards the episode. And we do get a whole write-up all about the special weapons Dalek, one of my favourite Daleks ever. I gotta say, it does look really cool. And then we get the list of our parts, not too many this time, but we do have more electronics to test. And it looks like we're building a part of the dome as well as add the light. Let's get building this Dalek. This is all of issue 5's pieces, a really nice metal plate here to go on the side of the dome, it looks like, as well as some more light components and some screws. So again, what we're going to be doing first is testing the light to see if it works. I must say, take caution because it does get quite stuck in there, so don't push it in too tight. But now we just turn it on just to test if this is working. So switch the switch on the battery pack, and as you can see here, the light is definitely working. Now what we need to do is fit the energy dispenser light bulb on top of it, and here we go. This is just a push-on fit. It doesn't really tell you how far you've got to push this on, because there is kind of like a rim. But if you just give it some force, it will go on quite comfortably. But there is sometimes a gap, so you don't want to forcefully break it. But I think that's just about on. So that looks pretty cool. And as you can see, you got that wire there, just making sure that doesn't get bent up. Need to put that to one side because we won't be needing that. And now we're going to be grabbing this awesome big metal plate, really nice quality this, and add it to our Dalek dome. So what I would like us to do is fit this side panel on to this piece here of the Dalek dome, and that should be, again, just a push fit for now when we get these little clips into these holes. And then what we will do, of course, is use those AM screws and screw it in from the inside. And that just clips in like so. There is quite a big seam line here. I've seen a lot of people have issues with this. It doesn't look as bad as people have said it is. I don't know if this is going to be the final completed line. You can kind of see the inside, which is a bit disappointing. However, I hope I've put this on right. Again, I'm not too familiar with these part work issues, but that does look fully secure in, and I can't wait now to screw this to the dome. And now what I would like us to do is fit 4 of these AM screws into the holes into the dome here. Again, we've done this before, so it should be pretty simple. And that should just screw into a place like this. And this hopefully will move that Dalek dome piece a bit closer so we don't have too much of a gap. But it is pretty simple with the holes here. These ones at the bottom are a bit more difficult than the rest. So that's the Dalek completely done for this issue. Definitely was tough to get this part on, because the eye stalk's pretty much in the way for all of it. So that is everything completed. Not too much in this issue, just the light build and screwing this panel on. Let's get into issue 6 now, take a look at that awesome magazine, and then add some more parts to this Dalek dome. So here we have issue 6, and I've got to say, again, nice part box, but again, this magazine is absolutely dented. Really disappointed with this, really. I really do want to collect these magazines in nice condition, and this, yeah, this isn't good enough. So firstly, we start with that stunning artwork on the inside cover of a Dalek and our contents page. And this time in the Time Vortex, we're looking at Dalek time travel. And the episode in this magazine is Day of the Daleks Part 1. Loads of information and pics to go with it. Following on from that, this issue focuses on the Gold Dalek and how gold has always signified high status in Dalek society. Again, not too many parts within this issue, but we get a nice step-by-step guide, and it looks like what we're going to be doing is pretty much looks like we're going to be adding the panel to this Dalek. And we get a sneak peek at issue 7 that will be coming soon on the channel. We'll have 7, 8, 9 and 10 on the channel soon for you guys. So make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you want to continue following this build with me. For parts in this issue, not too many this time. This one is included, but we don't actually need this in this issue. There's no instructions for this, so this will just be placed to one side for now. So today all we need is this metal panel and these AM screws. So what it would like us to do is add this panel to this Dalek. It should just be as simple as lining up these pegs, and it should just slot in here. So with that panel in place, we need to flip over the Dalek again. That panel in, all we have to do is add 3 AM screws, and that should simply hold into place like so. And with those screws into place, we can now flip it over, and our Dalek dome is in peace. We do have, again, some big lines in this Dalek, which the more I look at them, the more I hate. I don't know whether this is going to be in the final model or I've done it wrong, but they're definitely very present here. I'll just give you a little close-up, as you can see. So tell me in the comments if I'm doing something wrong, but it does look pretty cool, I must say. And that is it for issue 6. Those issues have really started the Dalek off well with that dome piece, and we've done pretty much all of this par the eye stalk in today's video. So smash that like button. So thank you guys so much for watching this bumper video. Gotta say, it does look cool. I'm very excited to continue the part work, and again, I should be getting another delivery in about a month's time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below, and get notified when I upload the next part of this Dalek build. I've been the Who Guy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
They'll need a while to build themselves up.